Hello, everybody. I'm Madison Holmes.
And I'm Macy Holmes.
And you're watching Holmes².
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, everybody, today we have a very niche episode for you that I'm actually quite excited about because I think that one of the most amazing things that we get to do, even being on this platform, and even Will deciding to create the Iron Rider Daily and all sorts of people that are trying to figure out how to lift up the rising tide, how to raise the tide, is trying to figure out how do you get the information out there. But first and foremost, what's the problem? So that way you become the student and you learn, and that way then you can try and explore those ideas with other people and share them. So that way we are all building each other up. And this episode is kind of, I could describe it as wholesome in the sense where me and Maddie are going to go ahead and give you guys a bit of an idea of
what we've been up to.
of what we've been up to, but also what a lot of the people in Calgary have been up to, specifically our area, because I feel like we've mentioned lots of times that it's like you can't solve the problem if you don't know how to solve it at home. And so we are trying to figure out how do you solve it at home. And obviously, people already know Alberta's situation, and we're trying to gain independence and sovereignty. And of course, that's something that I'm definitely advocating for and hope that we get towards. But in the meantime, there are people that are trying to figure out how to understand and then consequently update the system by getting involved and actually, I guess, not volunteering, but at the same time, sort of.
It is
volunteering their time and their effort and their mind and their energy to put themselves forward for different candidacies. So today we're going to be giving those Calgarians and I'll consequently Albertans props for their work. And what we hope for the rest of the Canadian listeners listening in to garner from that is, it sounds so cliche, but how to get involved at your home turf. And if for those Albertans and Calgarians listening, if they decide that they are so inspired to pick up the plate themselves and step up to the play, as these lovely individuals, which we will show to you, have done, or if you decide that you would like to support them, that is also a huge intention that we'd love to set for this episode. And so I think we can just dive into, I guess, first of all, what I guess me and Maddie have been doing in the sense of our Substack at Home with Holmes, because this is a little bit more tied to us on that level. So what we have is me and Maddie, we got exposed to something called a Better Calgary Party. It's the very first municipal party in Calgary. I don't know if it's the first in all of Canada, to be completely honest. I'll just say in Calgary.
Yeah, there was actually somebody who commented on our Rumble channel saying there was an Edmonton equivalent.
Yes.
That was very interesting. I didn't know that Edmonton had a political party. But it's good for people to know and then look into your home turf, see if they have, and not understand the difference between a political party or a municipal party and a slate, because sometimes people just put up a group.
You hit the mic.
I did hit the mic. Sometimes people put up a group, like they band together just for the elections and then immediately tear it down. But a municipal party is a long-term thing. And not all parties are created equal, obviously, but that's something to look into on your home turf to see if that's even a thing.
Yeah, because we got exposed to it, and we actually joined the Better Calgary. We joined our board for Ward 14. And what it was is we've done a lot of interviews with people who have joined a Better Calgary and who are deciding to step up to run for city councilors. So if you guys want a bit more context, I would encourage you to check out our Substack for those interviews, and to check out kind of a bit of what it is for the sake of being brief. I'll just say that municipal, if you don't know what it is, it's dealing with like the ins and outs of really the local level of
your
things.
Your
city. It's like roads and I guess sort of like pet projects, if you will.
Infrastructure.
Yeah. If anything, it shouldn't be pet projects, but it's very, very localized. It's very central to just what does the city itself need? What does at home need? So A Better Calgary stepped up and they were like, okay, we want to become a backing to help lift up grassroots individuals that want to decide to step up to the play. So we, I think, can start then with Keener, if you'd like, Maddie.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So Keener Hashi, he's running for Ward 14 city councillor. And me and Maddie obviously are biased, so we are endorsed.
We're in Ward 14.
We're in Ward 14. No, but like, well, yeah. I meant that makes sense, but I meant he's in A Better Calgary. But not just that, like we knew Keener before he decided to even run for a city councillor. So we're endorsing him. That's us. You obviously don't have to.
That's actually something all of these people we've interviewed thus far, Keener Hashi for city councillor, Mahmoud Moria for Ward 10 city councillor, Dr. Joni Darzouk for
Dr.
Joni Liu
sorry
for CBE trustee, which is Calgary Board of Education.
Yes.
We know all of them. So it's like, I know podcasters, there are people out there where they will purposely bring in candidates from every single side to show their audience potential people to vote for. One, I know that me and Macy, I don't believe we have that big of a reach. So I was like, okay, we don't really need to take on the burden of trying to get everybody to meet every candidate, especially because there are a lot of candidates for city councillor, surprisingly. Even in our own ward, there's like 6 people minimum. But another thing was just those are people we have known for years now. These are people that have kind of bled with us, so to speak, on the battle and our home front on the vanguard. So we just wanted to support them as people to people, as we've been gifted, like Macy alluded to, this platform. It's less of trying to do this nice political, get everybody to know their candidates. People don't even know that these are positions. Some people don't even know how to find their ward, what ward they are in. So this is really just us trying to get people to understand this is just the tidbit, and then we give you some resources that you can start looking into your own candidates and find who you're passionate about, because we've done enough work to know who we're leaning towards and who we would support, because we've also been beside them for a long time. So yeah, just to clear up some intentions about why these people, even for us.
Yeah, we definitely do have a bias. And I would say that it's like, it's also for the purpose of showing people what it looks like when individuals are choosing to do this thing, step into the political arena, step into a school board trustee. Like, what does that mean? And some of these guys, they're running, so they've never done it before. Like, I think every single person that we've interviewed has never done this before. So they're newbies, but they want to get involved for reasons that obviously I think a lot of the people in our audience would agree to. And that doesn't mean that there's not other candidates that also don't share that. The kind of whole point is to encourage you to take a look. We're just gonna show you obviously the people that we've interviewed in the sense of what it is that they are learning, what it is that they've experienced, and what it is that they value, into why they're doing it at all. Because if anything, like I said in the beginning, if the intention is for you, if you get inspired to want to step up and get involved as well, then that's great. And that's kind of the point. And if you decide that you're even convicted enough to show support, again, doesn't have to be for these candidates, but just to go learn and show support and go meet and ask questions and have, I don't know, a coffee discussion, then that's great. Like that's what we would want.
Yeah, and we're learning just as much as they are, because as much as these people, all of them in the interviews we did with them, like they know nothing. And I wonder if like that's also partly a problem, hey? The fact that they have no idea. It's like when we first got involved on provincial politics, we were voting people onto the UCP board of directors. And all of those people, they were like, we don't really know. The people that we wanted on anyway, they were more grassroots people. They had no idea what they were getting into. And that was one of the things that Mahmoud really emphasized in his interview with us. The fact that this is a volunteer position. Being a politician or getting on your school board, the fact that most people don't even know what that entails, even the people wanting to run for it, you're about to get thrown into a game, you have no idea what it's about. All of these systems are so much more complicated than you and I even remotely imagined. As soon as you get on one board, it's like, by the way, you have to learn about finances, marketing, everything it would take to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
But you're running a city or a school board, which is going to raise your future generations. It's really freaking complicated, and there's a lot of responsibility that goes into it. And these people have all described that they're taking that on. This is volunteering your time, and a lot of them also their money. This is coming out of their pocketbooks. And this is not, it's not a famous thing. This isn't something that you aspire to be for the sake of reputation and climbing a ladder. And if it is, you gotta question the motives then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if we want to share Mahmoud's short on that, because you actually kind of just summed up, again, hearing it from the horse's mouth, kind of like giving people an idea of just, okay, what does it mean to step up to this plate and decide to do this thing, and what it is that, why are they doing it? That's, I think, something that we really want to emphasize. So if you want to, you can play the first short.
What pushed me to jump into the political arena, my oldest boy, he got married, and I see the struggle, how much he's facing, him and his wife, to establish a life, to buy a house, to buy a car. They have to do so many jobs. While some of our politicians driving their Mercedes or their BMW, cruising around and telling us all those fake, empty promises, making us listen to what we want to listen, and at the end they do the opposite behind the closed door. And based on this, I decide to throw my hat in the political arena, and not as a politician, as a concerned citizen who willing to do anything he can to help young lady like you and her, a young man like other guys that was on the street, to provide them with every possible way that they could build themselves without stressing about all the credit card or about the student loan and about so much city tax or property tax. And that's why I'm gonna try and be the voice of you to let those politicians know people will hold us accountable if we don't do what we're supposed to do as politicians.
It's accountable if we don't do, like, he already has basically assumed the role. I love it. He's just like, if we don't do what we're supposed to do as politicians.
Yeah, that's even the fact that he was motivated, as he said in that short, by his son. His son is like a lot of young people nowadays, that including us, like if we wanted to up and leave the family, go and get our own apartment, me and Macy together or whatever, it's just not happening. It's not happening in this economy. We're a household of 7 people now, and it takes all of us to maintain our bottom line, just to maintain the decent, healthy food, which is a huge one. Yeah. And then being able to occasionally go camping in the summer. It takes all of us working full-time jobs. It's not easy. And that's one thing that it literally got him. He's a businessman and he has full-time jobs. And he went, I have to do something because my son, now married, can't even do his bottom line. This has to change in my city.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually today. Mom was talking and she was saying, she was like, before, I guess, the inflation kind of really escalated, we were at this level of maintenance, and then we had to pick up more. So we had to get more clients. We had to pick up more of the load. We're doing more physically, and we're still maintaining where we were at when we were doing less.
Yeah.
Because that's how bad the situation is. And it's funny because it's like, of course, we're aiming for the Alberta independence, right? But this is like Mahmoud being one individual. Again, others maybe running for city councilor in Ward 10. But it's him kind of going like, I want to get involved in trying to figure out how I can basically help my son and consequently help other young people be able to afford things. And I think that's the whole point. Like, that's literally that's where you want to go, is how do you take a look at the problems around you and be part of the solution. And so that's just, to me, I think, an admirable thing. But
yeah, and on different people different things have motivated all of these individuals. They're all older, and then again, of course, the thing with politics is that a lot of people that we've seen that are involved, it's because you're retired now. You have the time, because it takes time. It does. And so
I know, and Mahmoud's not retired.
No, he's not
doing this thing, and he still has to run his shop. So
yeah, so he's one of the few, most people, I want to say. And if you're not retired, you're making bank, and most of us aren't. Okay, like, the reality is the average Joe, they do a lot of work. So even the other people we have interviewed, Darzook, Dr. Joni Liu.
I don't know if Dar's retired. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's retired. No,
I think that Joni might be, but she might have a different story, because Joni actually practices Chinese medicine. So
yeah, that you never really give health up. You really shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think.
And when you're a spy,
why would you retire from that?
Exactly.
I mean, unless you've seen things, which I can understand.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. Me and Maddie were talking before this episode started, and I was like, for people who are retired, it's like you're kind of at a point where it's just like, are you just gonna chill and enjoy your life in peace, and then that's it, and then realize that it's like that classic I don't know if it's a poem or not, but it was just that saying where it's just like, if not you, then who? And it was that idea of like, first they came for I'll just say X, and then they came for Y, and then I just thought throughout the whole process, right, they weren't going to come for me, but then eventually they do come for you. And I think that the fun part about Joni is she is kind of like, reminds me of that, where it's just like, I'm not just going to like sit around and do nothing, because I know that, like, because for her children are already older. It's not the same as with Mahmoud, but for her, it's like, I don't want to just see the next generation be torn apart, kind of thing.
That was a nice little intro. We'll show her short from our interview with her next. I can't say enough about her. I can't even sell her up, because every time I do, I feel like I'm doing her injustice. So I'm just honestly gonna play it, and it'll show some of the motivations. Again, all these people had something different to say. They're all. And that's one thing that's so cool about politics.
And I guess we should probably know that she's doing school board trustee.
Yeah, she's going for school board trustee. So
yeah,
kids like us and even younger, she's trying to figure out, before Mahmoud's kids, before that trying to move out stage, even getting there today is harder. Kids growing up, you have the iPads at like age 6 now. Just, there's so many different challenges. People look at me and Macy and thought we had it bad. I can't even imagine what kids younger than us are going through.
Yeah,
we were concerned.
We were talking to a friend, and he was saying that it's like his 14-year-old who loves sports. He's getting in trouble for being too competitive.
Yeah.
It's like, that's ridiculous. And so imagine then you trying to figure out how to come up into the world and come up into the workforce, and whether we like it or not, we are in a very competitive type of economic system. It's like,
and then a parent trying to figure out where to put their kid in school, and when your teachers are telling you that you can't be a kid and you can't.
Oh yeah, we don't have to preach to this crowd how much the school system is awful. So I just think it's very admirable that Joni, or anybody, Dar as well, tries to step up to be a school board trustee. And again, if you want, they themselves are still learning what that entail. And if they get in, obviously they're going to, me and Maddie are going to do follow-up interviews to ask them more of our questions.
Right.
But in this short that Maddie's going to play for you, it is that idea of like, who are we raising? Are we actually raising kids that are going to feel like they're going to be able to succeed in life? So you can.
It was better even when my own kids were going to school. When we're talking about mental health, we're talking about self-confidence. We're talking about self-sufficiency. I mean, when you've really accomplished something, you have self-esteem. When you have been led to believe that you know something, but you don't know, and then you find out that you don't know, what does that do to a person's self-esteem? Because, I've even spoken to kids. One young man in particular, he was 1 year out of school. He had graduated last year, so he's now 19 years old. He's working up at oil field up north. And I just happened to catch him when he was back in town, when I was door knocking. And he's found out that he's going to be working on diesel engines. He said to me that, he knows that he's been shortchanged. Knows that it's going to take a lot for him to catch up.
What? Yeah, I don't know. That bothers me every time.
I know. Yeah,
like you have because the trades in Alberta specifically, like, and I'll just say trades in general are absolutely essential to any system of like civilization, because if you don't have anything that works and guys don't know how to even operate machines or how to do maintenance or how to like fix the basic, it's almost like Jordan Peterson's like slaying dragons. It's like those are the men and some women, but mainly men, that slay the dragons for your entire civilization to make sure that the little beasts don't erupt into a big problem. And then they're the ones that help, like, you need minds, obviously, and hence engineers, and then you need creative, innovative people to come up with better ideas of how we can make systems better.
And as annoying as this is, you need people also like that and have those kind of values in politics, because otherwise you get a good kid like that wants to work for a company like Edison Motors to reinvent like hybrid engines, do diesel electric, but bureaucracy in our home province and in our cities and in our federal governments say, nah, you can't do that because I say so. No legitimate reason, because a diesel electric is actually more environmentally friendly, according to, all the science that we've been looking into, than just the straight diesel, because you're using a generator. It's just more fuel efficient. It is more cost effective. And yet, under the guise of environmentalism, they're banning it. It makes no sense. And this was also why as stupid as politics is, we need people like these people in politics to prevent that.
It's important because me and Maddie are young. So I think it was funny because Mahmoud, he was at the end of the podcast or interview, and he was like, I would encourage you ladies to get involved and step up and all that. And I was like, okay, for sure, man. Like, I get you. We are on boards, actually. So we are trying to figure out how to like negotiate on the lower level. We would be the type where it's like, okay, Keener, who will introduce next. It's like, we would talk to him and be like, hey, like, how's city council going? Okay, he's updating us. Okay, hey, like, this is what so far we're noticing in Ward 14. If we host enough fundraisers, if we host enough events, we get to talk to community members, and this is what we get to figure out. And the whole point is the system fails if you fail communication. Communication is what these systems rely on, whether that's good or bad. But if we don't do our job, then that's when everything will just go to shit, because now you have people that it's like they are on the ground doing a thing, and that's admirable, and they're experiencing things. But if they're just complaining about it at home and not talking to anybody, or if we're not trying to, being people who volunteer on the board, trying to set up events so that way we can try and talk to these people. And if you don't attend the events, then you're not going to be able to talk to the people that are trying to figure out, hey, what's going on, right? And me and you are young, like, so I'm not going to presume to know, I know the ins and outs of what it is that people are experiencing as people with their own businesses and people trying to figure out, like, I guess, all the taxes that are around them, right? Because you and I are still trying to even figure out how to file ours, like, seriously. So it's like, for us, I'm very happy, and I get inspired all the time when I see, like, we go to events, and the funny part is some people are like, man, there's lots of gray hairs here, and it can be discouraging to them. But like, for me as a young person, I'm like, I would love to see more younger people, because it means that it shows that they're caring, right? And then there's more incentive for, obviously, me to care, because I'm seeing that the future cares, right? It's hard when you feel like you're the only one, and most of your counterparts that are beside you are going to be dead in the next couple of years, right? It's like, that's hard. But what's so inspiring is you see grandmas taking out their notebooks, writing down. They're still taking notes. I always wonder, what are you going to do with those notes? But regardless, they might talk to people. They might do what Joni and Mahmoud and what Dar and Keener have decided to do, which is, okay, now that they're educated, now that they've taken up the pursuit of going after the knowledge, but also now that they've had lives and experiences and jobs and struggles, it's like they're the best candidates to go in and go like, hey man, like I worked in this industry for this many years and I know, right, like I know how the degression and the progression has worked. I've seen it, right? I've been paying attention. I'm seeing that my kids are being affected. I'm going to go in, or that kids in general being affected. I'm going to go in. I'm going to tell you straight up that your theory, as I don't know, I guess some sort of engineer saying this is how a rig's supposed to operate, to go, I guess, a little bit down our dad's philosophical route, but actually knowing what it is to actually be the drill hand and then to be the guy managing the rig, but in the sense of like you first worked your way from the bottom and then you came up. It's like, you know, the ins and outs to look at that engineer and go like, hey man, although I appreciate your theory, this is practically how it's not going to work. And so what you were mentioning with Edison Motors, it's like, hey, like we've been in this, we know the science, it's cost effective, it works, you have an agenda, you need to stop. It's like, these are, and they can explain the science because again, they're the people, they're taking the notes. They've also been maybe they've been in the industry, right? It's like they're having the conversations. I'm just like, that's great to me. I'm like, those are the types of people where, yeah, please don't. Why would you waste your knowledge and your wisdom?
Yeah, so we'll share everybody with Darzook next.
I technically said Keener next.
I know, but the way you just segued in, I have to do Dar first because you're basically alluding to also learners, people that are lifelong learners. So,
yes.
And one of the things Dar really inspired in me and Macy is just how dedicated he is to finding different programs and different ways to teach kids these skills Macy's talking
He's
about.
attended our events before. It was so lovely. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at, like, again, it's just really, I'm inspired by gray hairs. Like, although
that want to keep learning.
That want to keep learning.
People, they want to keep learning. All of them have attended events that we've thrown with Matthew and then family events just so they could keep on the pulse and start understanding the deeper workings and what they won't tell you in the school systems, on the school boards, anything like that. And so Darzook he demonstrates this, and now he really wants this for his kids and some of the programs he's looking into just to show people. And because as a CBE trustee, a school board trustee, one of their jobs is to create policy. So he's going to have a bunch of programs that he can like include in his policy that he's looked into for his own kids. So we'll just play this short one here because this is like examples of things I had no clue about, but he's really aspiring just to encourage the next generation coming up.
I think you might have played the wrong short, but that's okay.
No, that's the one I wanted to play.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But like one of the shorts that I also made was also just him promoting the fact that it's like you have to have a love and a yearning for knowledge, and that's just something that is not being, as he's expressly saying, really promoted. It's like we don't hold the same expectations for our kids, right? And I mean, when he said we have to promote the successes in the Calgary Board of Education, I mean, like, in order to do that, you have to obviously make sure that you're paying attention to what's your metric of success, right? It's like, how do you measure that? And so I think
you said in the very beginning, you need to identify the problems in order to solve them, right? You have to identify it. And he was very honest. He's like, some of the successes he's only seeing from the outside. He's like, I honestly don't know some of the problems yet because it's so hard to see from the outside. Yeah. He's like, that is a genuine problem, is the lack of transparency. And that's the way he's like, I'm going to learn that more once he gets in.
But that idea, though, where it's just like, you can't define your metric of success without actually knowing what your metric of failure is, right? Because it's easier to figure out what you don't want to do versus what you want to do.
True.
So it's like, when he's saying that, in the sense, and me and Maddie doing our geopolitical dives can definitely attest to the fact that it's like, in countries like Russia and like China and India, in these different countries, they definitely have technological advances that are superseding the West. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that, but at the same time, it's like, well, what did you expect? Like, change is something that happens.
Not all tech is created equal, fair enough, but a lot of what they're doing, I wish we were doing here. Because even small nuclear reactors, which a lot of people are for here in Alberta and should be across Canada, we can't even, China can build them in half the time. We should be taking and collaborating with some of their engineers.
I wish we
we could make more efficient energy here. We should be collaborating because we just don't have the infrastructure yet.
I wish we popped up this video because it was such a good video. Hold on. If you bear with me, I'm going to try and find it because it was actually really, really, really valuable. Mike Adams, he did a video.
We cannot talk about that.
What? What do you mean?
We don't have time.
Okay. All I'll say is
no.
We'll probably talk about it.
You should bring it up. It's fine.
I will link it on our Substack because usually I repost these and then I'll link it in the Substack, and we'll probably talk about it again another time. So don't worry, it will come to you. But Mike Adams did a bit of his own analysis because he was wondering what these AI centers that are being built, like they are being built in Alberta, but he wasn't looking specifically at Alberta. But he was like, what is the actual physical reality of how these systems are going to play out? And what kind of energy are they going to consume? And he was coming to the conclusion that these are going to, it's way back, Maddie. It's like way back. Because he posts like damn near every day. So you're going to have to keep scrolling.
Sorry, I'm looking for it in the background, everybody.
Yeah. But he came to the conclusion that it's like, we are going to get to a point where we're going to have to choose between a human energy, like energy meant for human life, or energy. Oh, there it is. Maddie, go back.
I found it.
Or energy left for AI systems. And when he was doing the comparison as well, he did the comparison to, there it is, AI data centers to consume huge water and power. He did the comparison to what's going on with China in terms of their, data centers and their success and what kind of terawatt hours that they can produce for themselves. And it's freaking insane. I mean, granted, I know that their population's much larger for sure, but I would highly encourage people to take it out and check it out and take a listen to it. But that's the idea. That's kind of the understanding, where it's like, we got to get to that level of thinking of where it's just like, where are we not? Like me and Maddie talked about this in like a previous, actually like last 3 previous episodes, where it's just like, there is something about what's going on in the world that we could look at in a negative lens, like a jealous individual that's just like, no, like we are the hegemonic and state and we are the superpower, and you can choose to be, I guess, in denial or upset about this thing, or you can look at the world now in a state of revitalize it, like put new energy, put new perspective, put new appreciation on it. Because of course, tools, it depends on how you use them, right? So of course we don't want to encourage with the AI arisal to be some sort of technocratic state, surveillance state. And we've talked about this before, but it's like the other projects that are coming forward from other countries, from what it is that we're doing. It's like we have to figure out what's our mode of attention, what's theirs, what is being propagandized for us to believe, right? And vice versa. So these are just things that are very important. And I kind of forgot how we trailed onto that, but
no, because talking about how
because he was saying that all around the world,
innovation,
there's innovation, right?
Yeah,
and he was giving Alberta huge props, and I'm like, hey man, like I'm all for giving us props. And it's why if we become an independent state, oh hell yeah, we're gonna freaking do amazing. Hopefully we'll probably have, actually no, not probably, we're gonna definitely do a series on that. But that's, we got to look to our neighbors. But so Lau, let's definitely get on to Keener before we cut this episode, because we didn't want to make it too long.
Macy, you alluded to communication. If you don't communicate, then all the political systems and politicians break down. We don't know anybody better for communication than Keener Hatchie, because he does all of the tedious work that nobody wants to do. And I'm talking like reading long documents, bills that the federal government tries to pass that you don't get to see.
He pays attention to wording like I've never seen a human being do. It's so fucking funny. It's really
hilarious.
Funny. Like he'll be like, "Did you see how they said this here, and then over here they say this?" And like that's not computing. This doesn't make sense to me. And then I'm like, I feel like no one would be paying attention to that, but to him, we did a cute little short with him as well, where he was showing us a bit of what was going on with I forgot which document it was, a climate emergency of some sort, and it was justifying all sorts of funding. And he was just like, guys, most of the people that agreed to this climate emergency in this specific year didn't even see that that's not when they agreed to it, and yet now we have like billions of dollars going towards this thing.
There was
technically wasn't even they didn't even care to put it in the documents to actually show that it was verifiable that everybody felt that there was a climate emergency. And it showed, for me, definitely a negligence. And he's the type where are people being negligent?
This is the short she's alluding to. It's only for 15 minutes where he gets to call out some of the inconsistencies in our city council. And these are just things that you can look out for your own city council. But also talking about the logistics. So communication and logistics is really what he's good at. And the short we're going to show you is just him kind of breaking down. These are things that you got to think about as a politician going in. And this is something we had to learn, not only as young people learning how to manage finances, but then what does it take to run a city? What's actually financially feasible for not only fundraising, but fixing a road or stuff like that. So he
are you gonna do the snowfall? The snowfall one?
The one where he's talking about the ways to spend money.
Oh, okay.
Or should I do the snowfall one?
You can do the one on how to spend money.
There are 4 ways to spend money. The first way is to spend your money on yourself. So the second way to spend money is to spend your money on somebody else. The third way is spending somebody else's money on yourself. The fourth way to spend money is to spend somebody else's money on somebody else. And that is government. It could be, any kind of governing body. They spend somebody else's money on somebody else. They don't care so much about the value, and they don't care so much about the cost. And that's what government is. And the city of Calgary is no exception to that. My position is I want to make sure that I'm going to be diligent in spending taxpayers' dollars on taxpayers' services.
That one was hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, I really loved our interview with Keener. I appreciate him because he came in out of the gate knowing exactly what it is that he hated. He was like, I hate it when governments decide to spend other people's monies. Like, what is it? Is it frugally? No, because frugally, isn't that technically like a good thing?
Oh.
Me and Maddie are literally doing a definition. you in a frugal. Well, that's helpful.
That's helpful.
In a frugal. What the fuck is frugal? I'm so sorry for people.
Speaking of lifetime learning, economical in use or expenditure, avoiding unnecessary expenditure. So,
not frugally.
No, yeah.
When they don't spend it frugally.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I love how he defined that. Like, he absolutely knew. He was just like, no, I just don't like this at all because it's other people's money and they're forgetting that. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, remembering the responsibility of a person being, he's like, if you're spending somebody else's money, you're already way less likely to put care and concern into it because you didn't earn it, it's somebody else's. So when you are spending somebody else's money, just like the thing with getting free things is that even I've heard this argument when I read Irreversible Damage. She talked about, funnily enough, putting gender transitional surgeries under benefits. And she said as soon as they did that or put hormones and made it free and it cost way less, so many more people were doing it because the consequences are gone now. Like before, when it wasn't covered,
It's
when you
not
actually
out of pocket, really.
Yeah, it's not out of pocket when you had to think about it. You had to really, do I actually have gender dysphoria? Am I really, do I wait till I'm 25, 26, my brain's developed and maybe I'm actually more comfortable with my body. Maybe I had a traumatic experience and I got to wait and see if I can sort through my mental issues before I spend $30,000 taking off one of my body parts. Like, you really had to think. But as soon as it became free or complimentary, way less easy, it's somebody else's money.
There's
you're
less
now spending.
incentive for you to actually give a shit on
Yes.
how you're going to go about this process, because it's not your time, energy, effort that you're going to transfer into something that could be irreversible.
Yeah, and so remembering that even in politics,
Mm-hmm.
just like in medical systems, that was a really good connection that he did.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that we definitely went over our 30-minute mark. But I think that this was a good segment. And so again, for people who feel like they're inspired to get involved, great. For people who feel like they want to support these individuals, great. For people who feel like they want to look into their candidates more because there may be regular Joes like you, or they may be not regular Joes, and you should know that too.
You want to run yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just any way that it works for you. And again, for those that aren't in Alberta and who are in Canada and they want to figure out how they can do that as well, it's like, figure out how your municipality works, figure out if you guys obviously have wards as well. And
we'll put links for our local people in the Substack.
Yeah. Figure out what it looks like for you, and then find your ward, find how you can get involved, invite that person who may be running for a coffee. If you don't have your own municipal party, perhaps you want to make one. Just all these things to consider for your own at-home base. And again, that's just where it comes down to, is how do you fix it at home? So, yeah.
Thanks everybody for sticking with us
Yeah.
and catching up on what we've been doing in the background just to support our local people and learn more about a very convoluted system that we live in. So,
yeah. Okay, thank you everybody.
Yeah.
This has been
Holmes².